Welcome back, everybody. So to begin today, we have Dr. Connie Mitchell and Dr. Burhan Ozfidan from Prince Sultan University in Saudi Arabia, presenting the first poster for this poster session. You may take it away.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum, everybody. And thank you, Dima, for that introduction. This poster is about a study that Dr. Burhan and I conducted about detecting difficulties in argumentative writing, the case of students in Saudi Arabia. What we wanted to look at was basically how well students were able to construct an argument in the argumentative essay writing genre. We developed a rubric, which was a tool that we used to assess their ability to develop an argument. If you're familiar with argumentative writing, it's basically a mode of academic writing and a common writing genre that college level students are required to learn about at university. The purpose of the study is to investigate basically the common difficulties that affect the second language learners' argumentative writing capabilities. And the significance from the study is basically to explore the struggles that might be culturally or linguistically based with students from a background in Saudi Arabia, and writing argumentative essays to provide insights that could be used at the end of the day to improve the instruction, the teaching strategies to help our students' performance and master this particular genre of writing. And moving forward into this, what the literature has to say, basically, there are two key themes that we looked at: the approaches in second language writing and the difficulties and processes and strategies in second language writing. Atkinson in 2018 highlighted the different theoretical influences on second language writing. Hyland, of course, who is well known for his theories in second language writing, proposed a descriptive framework for the genre or rhetorical structure of writing and developing an argumentative essay. Shahari and Shadio in 2019 also investigated the engagement features of the argumentative genre. And then with the difficulties, processes, and strategies, some of the literature that we used as references and salient pieces that were fundamental in our actual study. Rahmatunisa examined EFL learners from Indonesia with a focus on argumentative essay areas of difficulties. Zhu in 2001 found that the ESL students primarily had difficulties in the following areas: the rhetorical aspects of English argumentative writing and the metacognitive strategies were used infrequently. Lee and Deacon in 2019 said that basically second language students were found to less likely demarcate their authorial presence within their text. Ong and Zhang in 2010 investigated task complexity and the impact it has on the fluency and lexical complexity in the EFL argumentative essay writing format. And Dr. Burhan will be speaking about the methodology section and findings. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. My name is Burhan Ozfidan. All right, I will talk about the methodology parts very briefly and what we found for this study. Just a second. And I'm sorry. Okay, we had 187 students for this study as a participants. And this is pretty big number for this study because I will just briefly talk about how we collected the data because the data was uh, written argumentative essays and we analyzed every single of the argumentative essay 2 times. And sorry about that. And all of the participants were from native Arabic speaking countries, and all of them were ELL students, and the age range of the participants was between 18 to 30. And the all data was collected from Prince Sultan University, from different disciplines across the university, different colleges. And And what is the data collection and a subset argumentative essay written by Saudi undergraduate students? That was the data we used. And that was part of our final assessment as well in our college for the course that I was teaching English, one of three research writing techniques. And a rubric that we created, Dr. Alia and I, was used to code each essay. And we also hired two different coders to evaluate every single of the written essays 2 times. And the reason we were doing this because we wanted to get more reliable information. And the writing task was, like I said, we give that was an written argumentative essay, and we gave a choice of two essay questions along with the two different sources that we provided for students, and we asked them to write it down approximately 600 to 750 words in length and argumentative essays. And Dr. Alia and I, and we also hired a couple of people to evaluate every single of the written essays. And it took us really very long time to just analyze the data. And for the inter-rater reliability that we found, that was significantly good results. Statistically, we had pretty good results because the researchers, like we elected the test for kappa as a means of verifying the scoring of this data, and 95% coefficient that was true population value of kappa was between 0.398 and 746. For our kappa coefficient is statistically significantly different from the zero, which was p-value was 0.001, and our kappa score was 0.679, which was pretty good score for inter-rater reliability. And for what we found for the study, we found that students were pretty good in integrating academic sources while writing an argumentative paper, and they were also good in writing thesis statement, counterclaim, and organization structure while they were writing an argumentative paper. And we also differentiated with the men and women campuses differently. And because we also differentiated, we tried to find out the differences between the men and between female and male students. And we found that we got a little bit different scores statistically. And major area of difficulty is while they are writing a refutation paragraph, we found that writing the refutation paragraph was one of the most difficult area for most of the students. And they had difficulties while they were dealing with the academic tone and the contents and developments. And that was the another serious issues that we found. And we also suggested some different activities for students. And this studies was also helped us in at PSU to organize, I lost one, and to organize the connect to rearrange our courses accordingly to the result of this study. And do we have a time, Dr. Alia? Or I think we are done for, are we good with the question and answer? Okay.
We are good with the time. We have 5 minutes left.
Is that for, is that for question
Yeah, we
and
have 5 minutes left. Uh, I think in conclusion, basically what we can say, some of the recommendations that came out of our study is that we can offer training sessions on how to develop good rubrics that can guide students on how to write better refutations, and how to develop the different parts of their argumentative essay that would strengthen the argument. Also, rubric development, as I mentioned, and then the teaching strategies and the rubric development would come curriculum modification, possibly moving forward. So these are the recommendations that came out of this particular study. And if anyone has questions, you can type it in the Q&A, and we would be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
And we also started working on rubric development.
Dr. Burhan, we have one question here. It is from Fatima El Sayari. What kind of manual annotation tool did you use in your analysis of the data?
Okay, this is, I used Stata. I'm sorry, yeah, both Stata and SPSS. I was using the Stata before, I was using the SPSS before, but from now on, I'm using the SPS Stata. For this analysis, I use the Stata, yes.
Are there any other questions?
I think
Dr. Burhan got left out, so I'm asking the questions. I know I'm supposed to, you answer questions, but I'm going to ask you the questions. It just makes it easier. What were the findings?
Hello, Dr. Alia. I think
I can help with this. We weren't focusing on grammar for this particular study. We were focusing on the stylistics, yes, from the aspect of the argumentative genre. So we were looking at, did they have parts of a well-structured argumentative essay? So we were looking at the refutation, the providing of the evidence, stating what the argument is, and looking at the different pieces of the actual essay, the structure, the stylistics, if you will. Were they complying with that or not complying with that? Where did they fit? Because this is a poster, we don't have time to show you the actual rubric, but if you are interested, you can please feel free to contact either me or Dr. Burhan. Our email addresses are here beside our names. You can see our email addresses there, and we would be happy to answer any of the questions that you might have. And furthermore, this article has been published already, and we would be happy to share the reference where you can find the published article. I believe we have one more question that we can take, and then we'll move on to the next session. This is from Zohra Ghani. How to manipulate this for critical teaching and learning of language? Good question. Good question. Okay. Dr. Burhan, do you want to give it a go, or shall I go ahead and answer the question?
I can answer it, no problem.
Okay,
and
please.
That was the purpose, actually. We prepared for this assignments, Dr. Ali and I, because we found that students are having a difficulty to write an argumentative essays. And Our next purpose right now, Dr. Ali and I just started working on developing a rubric, and at the same time, so we'll be looking at the different strategies for the teachers, how they can manipulate in the classroom to teach the argumentative essays, because we found that there are some domains in argumentative writings that has to be covered by, that has to be morely focused in the classroom, and that's going to be like, for example, writing a refutation paragraph is totally a big pain for the students, and even like while we are working on the teaching strategies, and we definitely ask the teachers to focus on mostly in the refutation paragraph and some domains that students are having the difficulties, and that will be definitely for our further research questions that we'll be working on it.
All right, so thank you for taking the time to be with us while we presented our poster to you about argumentative essay writing. And as I said before, if you have any further questions or would like more clarification about anything or the reference for the actual published article, please contact either myself or both of us actually, Dr. Burhan and myself. Our email addresses are at the top of the poster. And thank you for joining us. We'll move now to the next session. Dima.
Thank you very much for your informative post session, Dr. Connie and Dr. Burhan. We will be moving on to our next presenters. We've got Sayyida Maryam Fatima, Shabana Azad, and Simon Nazir from the Women University of Bagh Azad Kashmir in Pakistan, presenting their poster.
Can you please share your screen?
Yeah, hello. Am I audible
Yes.
to you? Okay. Hope
You
you
need
all
to
are
you
in
need
good
to share your
health.
screen at the bottom where it says share screen. There's a green button, and please press share screen so everyone can see your poster.
I am sharing my screen. Okay.
No.
Yeah. Wait.
Okay, now you're sharing your screen, but yeah, and you can put the poster up. Thank you.
Welcome. Before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Saida Maryam Fatma, and I am from Azad Kashmir, Pakistan. And I have done my master's in philosophy in linguistics, and my area of research is translation and culture. So here is my topic of this presentation: barriers in poetry translation caused by culture-specific items and their categories. So Uh, culture-specific items are responsible for creating barriers in translation of Urdu poetry into English. This is a descriptive library research which aims at finding categories of culture-specific items of Urdu poetry which are responsible for creating problems while translating it in English. So you can see English culture and Urdu culture has huge differences. Here is a picture of Christmas, and the next one is of Eid. We don't have any word to describe Christmas in Urdu, or we don't have any word in English to describe Eid in English. So here is a cultural problem which translators are facing while translate between the languages. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. And please keep in mind that you only have like 10 minutes to summarize everything, and then there will be a few minutes left for question and answering. Thank you.
Okay, so there is not even a single research which focuses on the categories of cultural specific items in Urdu poetry. So this study aims at finding the categories and their frequencies of cultural specific items so that workable strategies can be derived to be used on practical ground while translating Urdu poetry into English. In this investigation, the researcher takes the model framework of categories of cultural specific items given by Peter Newmark, which are ecology, material culture, social culture, organization, and gestures and habits. So the here is a short introduction, or you can say definition of ecology. This is ecology, which includes winds, plants, hills, and all geographical aspects. Then material culture, food, clothes, houses, transport, and then social culture. It includes work related to layer, and organization is a category which includes most of the things like organization, names of our organizations, customs, activities, procedures, concepts, political and administrative, religious, artistic. This domain includes the maximum categories of culture specific items. Or next is gestures and habits. It includes all kinds of gestures and habits. The corpus of this research comprises translation of 10 Urdu.
Excuse me, we've lost the sound. Excuse me, Miss Fatma, but your sound has gone. I believe she has lost her connection. Yes, she has lost her connection. So we'll just be patient for a minute until she rejoins. Until Ms. Fatima is able to rejoin us, I'm just going to ask a couple of just random questions just to keep everyone here and engaged. So far during the symposium, what is one of the key takeaways that you have found to be interesting until now? Can you just write it in the chat box, please? For me, I attended Professor Norbert's presentation, the opening plenary. Yes, I agree. Norbert Schmidt's talk was extremely thought-provoking. And I like, now that he has retired, he's made all of his research and resources available to anyone for free. If you didn't get a chance to attend his session earlier this morning, you can access the recording. As an attendee, you'll have access to the recording, and you can get his contact details from there. It was extremely informative. And yes, Fahdiba, yes, I agree. There have been some very interesting topics so far during the symposium. How will you use, you're saying it's informative, how will you use the information? Okay, Dima, sorry, I'm gonna pick on you a little bit. How will you take that Virginia Woolf presentation and possibly incorporate it into your teaching? How could you use that analysis of the literature in an English language teaching course? For example, literature is a way for us to learn more about the cultural aspects of language and how we can use different idiomatic expressions, how we can use, well, take Shakespeare, for example, to be or not to be. This expression has lasted for I don't know how many years. How common is it? to hear somebody say to be or not to be, that is the question. You have so many idiomatic expressions that come from literature. And as Dima is sharing, it gives her a perspective, a deeper look beyond what she usually would analyze herself in order to help get ideas across to her students. Great, that is really great. Anyone else care to share? Okay, I can ask a more personal question along the lines of the research. Oh, sorry, you got lost between the rooms. Yes, you have to have a separate link for each room. Sorry, Sausan. Argumentative, if you teach argumentative writing, or even when you have to write an argumentative paper yourself, how do you go about it? What are some of the salient points that you try to get your students to achieve? Okay, Zahra said, Zahra from Algeria said, I used to use for teaching interdisciplinary content, such as philosophical thinking, cultural aspects of eras represented by literary eras. Okay, that's fascinating. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I don't think she was able to rejoin, unfortunately, but we'll try to make her information available to everyone, inshallah. Right, so moving forward, we'll be moving on to there is a plenary session at 2:15, correct?
Yes, that's correct, Dr. Alia. At 2:15.
So we have a break now. Yes. We have a break for 3 minutes, okay? And we look forward to you joining the plenary session in room 6, by the way. This room will stay open, but the plenary session will be in room 6 starting at 2:15 until 3:15. And this room will begin sessions at 3:30, okay? The afternoon sessions will begin at 3:30 in room 1, which is this room. And we'll hear from 3 presenters in the next concurrent session. Then we'll have the closing plenary at 5:15. And then at 6:30, we will start the workshops, if you have registered for one of the workshops. Okay, so thank you and hope to see you later this afternoon.